The market's deadliest data storms arrive on schedule, and 6 timed bursts prove it. Not in the chaos of an unexpected crash, but in pre-announced minutes that roll in like a siren. In those moments, packet counters spin, handlers choke, and strategies that looked perfect on a quiet chart suddenly face the raw speed of truth. This matters because every quote you see and every trade you place rides on a river of messages, and in these minutes that river turns into a torrent. The mystery is not why markets move, but why the data itself changes shape, density, and force. Engineers know it, traders feel it, systems reveal it. The story begins with a clock and ends with a ranking that feels impossible. The first layer peels back at the end of the day. The regular close seems calm from a distance, but step into the last 60 seconds and watch the tape grow teeth. Quotes clench tighter, orders stack into the closing cross, and packets per second surge as thousands of symbols try to make one final definitive price. On a normal day, the close posts a fierce, consistent wave, enough to expose slow handlers, but not enough to snap a backbone. It is the first hint that scheduled minutes carry a different kind of weight. Move earlier, and the calendar flips to a minute that looks simple on paper. Macro prints, jobs, inflation, GDP, the small words that hit like a freight train. At 8:30 in the morning or 2 in the afternoon, an invisible hand turns the market's volume knob to dangerous. Algorithms reroute, spreads widen, and feeds installed for normal flow find themselves passing bursts that arrive unevenly, racing one another by milliseconds. The message count spikes, not because prices are polite, but because every participant updates at once. Some names barely budge, others jump, and the consolidated stream becomes a living ultraviolet flare. It is the second layer, the third waits at 9:30, the opening bell, a ritual that doubles as an initiation. Opening auctions lock in the first official prints as floodgates open across thousands of listings. Around that bell, even calm giants move. Opening imbalances flash, cross-logic executes, and once the gates release, continuous trading lights up every inch of the book. Packet counters climb as quotes find their place in a brand new landscape. For handlers, the open within the first 20 seconds is not a slope, it is a wall. Names that slept through pre-market wake up with a full throat, and the river becomes whitewater. That is the moment many systems are tuned for. Some survive by buffering, others learn the hard way that buffers have borders. Then the story turns. Halts are terrifying in silence and worse in motion. LULD reopens, volatility pauses lifting in megacaps. Create the fourth burst, a needle-sharp spike that can dwarf routine opens for a flash of time. When a giant gets pinned and the guardrails finally lift, competing orders collide inside narrow corridors. Price discovery happens at the speed of reflex, not thought. In those first seconds after a reopen, a single symbol can create a localized storm that looks bigger than the entire market did an hour ago. The packets per second curve does not ramp, it punches. Quote, changes stack inside the tiniest window, trades come in clusters, and handlers that were stable seconds ago suddenly sip fire. That is the pivot where stress stops being theoretical. The fifth burst hides inside a schedule that few outside the engine room talk about, but every portfolio feels. Index rebalances, the quiet rearrangements of who stands where. When a major benchmark shifts weight, the market must move in lockstep to mirror it. The minute near the close when rebalance orders cross is a machine tightening all bolts at once. Orders are not random, they are designed to hit the tape in a narrow time band to reduce tracking error, and that design produces a data shape that looks like a lightning strike. Thousands of symbols push into an alignment window. Every update matters, and packets per second leap from high to extreme. Strategies that lived peacefully all week face a manufactured storm that is both necessary and ruthless. Now for the twist, the sixth and highest burst does not belong to the open, or a typical macro print, or even a routine close. It belongs to a specific kind of close riding on a specific day. When a rebalance collides with a closing auction, and entire families of indexes reshuffle together. Think Russell reconstitution, a year's worth of inclusion and exclusion pressed into minutes. In that final minute, the market is not a river, it is a waterfall. Quotes rewrite. Auctions swell to sizes that make normal days look like practice drills. Handlers see packet rates spike past comfortable thresholds. Even hardened systems start to count their breaths. For a heartbeat, the equities universe behaves like one organism. The pressure is coordinated, scheduled, and unstoppable. Some prepare with special paths, trimmed logic and throttles. Others simply hope to hold. This is the paradox. The most violent seconds are not surprises. They are appointments. The layers tell a story of different shapes of stress. The regular close creates a disciplined wave. Macro minutes cut the air with a blade that splits rational from reactive. The opening bell turns a room full of murmurs into a stadium roar. LULD reopens produce surgical spikes that punish latency. Rebalances compress intention into a window that forces alignment. The ultimate reconstitution close takes all of that and amplifies it into a single moment where the market remakes itself and dares the data to keep up. Each burst is a different creature, measured in the same cold metric, packets per second, but living on different timescales. For you, the mystery is not which event is loudest, but which one is sharpest. A long wave breaks systems that cannot sustain. A sharp spike breaks systems that cannot absorb. Every handler is a choice between stamina and agility. Every algorithm is a bet on how the storm will hit. The calendar of stress reads like a weather map. The silent minutes are the sun. The open and the close are the trade winds. Macro minutes are squalls. LULD reopens are lightning. Rebalances are hurricanes with names. And the final reconstitution is the wall of water that decides which houses stand. If the deadliest minutes are scheduled, what does it say about how much of the market's risk is not in the price, but in the timing of the data itself?